Now I've been a pair of forever legs, forever walking, marked miles of cement from the cradle to the inevitable coffin, met many a loser and caught me a couple of keepers, ate lunch with a prince once that drove a street sweeper. The prince was a beanpole with tousled hair and funny socks, Yankee Crown Crusader, Mr. Mutton Chops. This 6-foot something in buttons, tall stretch of royalty was as steady as a Chevy with old Yeller loyalty. Now the street-sweeping dreamer lives the nightlife of the loner, and on a night like tonight he came upon a panicky homeowner, pulled the sweeper to the curb to hear her saga sing. She said, "My house is on fire, save my daughters, and quick." The mother of the daughters in question was known throughout the land, a tall drink ex-beauty queen sought by many a man. Her daughters were all followers of her beautiful traits, long-haired songbirds whose midtown movements are smooth enough to stop parades. The prince jumped into action without any further ado. He asked for some direction to the blazing home current consumed, and upon arriving, flames arising, eyes widened by the roaring fire, he saw the girls hanging from 5 different stories. He rolled his sleeves to his elbows, pulled his cap to his crown, and hailed the jumbled letters of courage that sound the whole world out. Steps to his house, feels the heat burst upon his face, prays to the ghost of Johnny Cash, and steps inside the place. There were hollers for help from every direction. Nearly naked in night things, the girls all vie for his protection. The first was the worst, a thin blonde, deceptively heavy, pleading for protection of rings and things, exceptionally petty. The second was restless, born of limited faith, questioning the prince. Is this really going to be safe? The third was a burden, but the prince just shrugged the pain away. The fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, eighth, and ninth were all the same. Begging and crying, save my dog, carry my dress, burying the prince down in flickering smiles and selfish requests. But he still picked up, lifted up everyone left, 2 girls on each arm, 1 on his head, 4 on his chest. Each set of lips had a private wish on flowered breath. Each curving hip had him going back into the mess, but quitting was no option, even if it led to his death. Even the best have fallen, even the greatest will fail a test. But after loads and burdens filled with clothes and curtains, his throat is hurting, death is certain. The prince returns into the burning building, losing feeling in his fingertips and arms, overwhelmed by all the effort. Our good Samaritan succumbs. On his slow descent, his eyes will focus in on a shiny silhouette racing to hold on to his hand. It's the last of the daughters, fairest in hand and face, picture of grace, slim carrying but bearing a silent strength. She looks into the prince's eyes just before his vision fades, holds his hand and whispers, "It's gonna be okay." She picks up his broken frame, steps out of the flames, lays him on the grass as the last of the house collapses into the blaze. While the other daughters are crying over diamonds, they forget about the prince laying unconscious and silent. Except for the last, she sits and waits, worried by the man, waiting for his eyes to open up, never letting go of his dirty hand. And the prince told me this tale, somber and straight-faced, over some cups of bitter coffee and a couple of blue plates. And now I trust his every word because I've known him all my life, but if you don't believe this story, you can go ask the prince's wife.